The next topic is defamation in India. It's also very important. And we are reading this because there is a related topic that we'll be going to deal with in the next section. Defamation in India. There are two kinds of defamation. One is civil and the other is criminal. ठीक है, civil suit is under the law of torts. Now, what is this law of torts? Law of torts is a general, मतलब general law, common law. ठीक है, law of tort means common law. ठीक है. अब सिविल डिफेमेशन क्या होता है और क्रिमिनल डिफेमेशन क्या होता है? I made this comparison. But civil suit is under the common law. You can approach any high court or any subordinate or trial court for a civil suit if you have filed a civil suit. In a criminal case, you are being provided the right to file a case under IPC section 499 and 500. This is Indian Penal Code. ठीक है, Indian Penal Code. Indian Penal Code means now you will be tried as a criminal. The investigation will be carried out as a criminal case. ठीक है. A person found guilty can be sent to jail for 2 years. For ठीक है, plus fine or both. 2 साल की जेल हो सकती है या फाइन हो सकता है या दोनों हो सकते हैं. But civil suit में a monetary compensation is awarded for the loss of the reputation. ठीक है. Important thing is defamation के लिए there should be a statement that has been made, and that statement should be derogatory. That should be derogatory statement in the sense that it seeks to tarnish the image of a person. The statement must exclusively refer to the individual. Okay, and that is, if it is directed towards me, it should be my name should be referred into that statement. The statement should be published. मतलब इस statement का meaning ये है कि there should be at least one witness who knows कि the defamation took place. Otherwise, it will not be valid. Okay, मतलब मैं अगर जाके, if there is a private messaging between me and if there is a private conversation going on between me and some person, and if I say some derogatory things to him, he cannot file a defamation case against me because there is no other witness. Okay. Or if I publish it on Facebook or Twitter or at any some place where it exists as an evidence, then it can of course be tried as it will be a valid defamation case. Okay, now criminal case under the offense is compoundable. That means compoundable offense का मतलब हुआ कि it can be settled outside the court even without the court's permission. If the two parties agree that they want to settle the case outside the court, तो वो बाहर भी settle कर सकते हैं without even the permission of the court. ठीक है. But important thing is they cannot seek a monetary compensation for that. For example, two people have been involved in a criminal defamation suit, so they can settle it outside, but the victim cannot claim a compensation as a damage. ठीक है, there can only be settlement, and should not involve any monetary compensation to the victim. The complainant should be able to prove that the accused intended to defame him. Of course, there should be an intention of defaming. ठीक है, there should be an intention of defaming. Moreover, if there is an absence of intention, ठीक है, it should be established that alleged offender had the knowledge of the publication was likely to defame the person. ठीक है, that means this is very important thing. I can claim innocence on the fact that I did not know कि this thing is going to defame you. Okay, and that I can claim my innocence on the fact that I was not aware of the fact that this thing is going to defame you. If I prove my unawareness of the fact कि I was not aware कि मेरे इस बात से किसी का defamation हो सकता है, किसी की reputation tarnish हो सकती है, तो that can be offered as a excuse. But therefore, in the absence of intention, या तो मैं ये पहले ही कह दूं कि हाँ आई इंटेंडेड टू डिफेम यू, आई इंटेंडेड टू से कि तुम आई इंटेंडेड टू टार्निश योर रेपुटेशन। अगर मैंने ये कहा कि आई डिड नॉट इंटेंड टू टार्निश बिकॉज आई वाज नॉट इवन अवेयर कि दिस स्टेटमेंट को टार्निश योर रेपुटेशन, ठीक है, तो इन दैट केस defamation does not stand. Okay. Now what are the defenses in a civil action for defamation? Truth or defamatory, truth of the defamatory is complete defense. In a civil suit, if I'm speaking the truth, no matter how defamatory it is, it will be what, it will be excused. मतलब अगर मैं किसी के बारे में सच बोल रहा हूँ and that person has filed a civil suit, and if I'm speaking a truth even if it is defamatory, so that civil suit will not stand. मतलब defense will be provided. Making a fair comment on matters of public interest is a defense to action for defamation. यहाँ पे एक important चीज है, making a fair comment, it's already a vague term. In the public interest, ठीक है, we'll see how it affects the defamation suits, is also a defense. मतलब अगर मैं कोई fair comment करता हूँ, ठीक है, for example इंडिया एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया का मैच होता है, इट्स अ वेरी लाइक रिमोटली कनेक्टेड एग्जांपल बट समहाउ इट एक्सप्लेन्स इट कि इंडिया और पाकिस्तान का मैच होता है या इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया का मैच होता है एंड आई से कि इंडिया हार जाती है एंड आई से कि इंडिया प्लेड डिस्गस्टिंगली, इंडियन टीम प्लेड डिस्गस्टिंगली, तो दैट इज अ फेयर कमेंट ऑन माय असेसमेंट ऑफ द ट्रूथ दैट इंडिया लॉस्ट द मैच, ठीक है, एंड इज इट इन अ पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट? I can claim that it is in public interest that my criticism might inspire the team. ठीक है, तो public interest of course is not defined, but it depends of course on the judges. ठीक है. Now criminal case, section 499 makes an exception that a truth that acts the public good is exempted. Okay, मतलब अगर मैं कोई ऐसा सच बोलूं जिससे किसी की वो टार्निश तो हो रही है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल some person has been a correct IAS officer, and if I tell that truth on Twitter, okay, कि Mr. X is a corrupt IAS officer, although that truth defames him, but it is also is a public good. Why? Because I am making a statement in the greater cause of corruption, like a greater cause of fighting corruption in India, ठीक है, that is a public good. So if I'm saying a truth that is a public good is exempted, but the point here is even a truth is not defense is in a criminal case. मतलब आप सच बोल रहे हो फिर भी आप बच नहीं सकते criminal case में unless your truth is a public good. It's a very important thing. And the crime is compoundable and hence out of the court settlement is possible even without the interference of the court or the permission of the court. Now why we studied that? Because in a very recent judgment, a former journalist by the name of Priya Ramani has been acquitted of the criminal defamation suit filed by a former union minister, Mr. M.J. Akbar. Now we will be studying as to what were the observations of the court, what is sexual harassment at workplace, and what are Vishakha guidelines. Okay. Why news? Because recently a Delhi court has acquitted, okay, I told it. The defamation case was filed by the former union minister over her tweets on Twitter under the Me Too campaign, ठीक है, in Delhi High Court. So one important thing is who started Me Too campaign. Me Too campaign was started in 2006 by Tarana Burke against Harvey Weinstein, which Harvey Weinstein is a Hollywood director. Was, I think he died, I think, I'm not sure, kindly check. But in 2017 there was an actress, I'm not able to recall her name, Alyssa, I don't know what her name was, Alyssa Milano was her name. In 2017 she used the word Me Too to point out some sexual harassment cases. Okay, and that is how this Me Too campaign became famous. In that Me Too campaign, Ms. Priya Ramani, the journalist, also exposed uh, some kind of sexual harassment complaints that against this former union minister, and on that, Mr. MJ Akbar filed a case in Delhi High Court of criminal defamation. Now, the victim, the Ms. Priya Ramani, the accused, has been acquitted, and the observation of court was the right of reputation cannot be protected at the cost of the right of life and right to equality before the law and equal protection of the law. मतलब आर्टिकल 21 और आर्टिकल 14 प्रिसाइड ओवर द राइट ऑफ रेपुटेशन. ठीक है, आर्टिकल 21 एंड आर्टिकल 14 प्रिसाइड ओवर द राइट ऑफ रेपुटेशन. ठीक है, तो राइट ऑफ रेपुटेशन किस में होगा? राइट ऑफ रेपुटेशन तो नॉट मेंशन. इज इट अ फंडामेंटल राइट? Right to life with dignity is a fundamental right. Reputation can be traced back, but no court has actually made any kind of judgment in that regard, so we will not be getting into that. Disclosure was in the interest. The court also observed that the disclosure by the woman was in the interest of anti-sexual harassment at workplace, and the court has considered it to be a public good. Anti-sexual harassment at workplace को कोर्ट ने कंसिडर किया पब्लिक गुड, एंड द कोर्ट सेड दैट द ट्रूथ दैट प्रिया रमानी हैज स्पोकन आउट इज अ पब्लिक गुड इन द कॉज ऑफ एंटी workplace harassment, sexual harassment of women, and hence the criminal defamation does not stand. Salient features of the act are definition of sexual harassment at workplace. This act also came in 2013 after the Nirbhaya case. Okay. Now, sexual harassment at workplace was defined. Why? Sexually colored remarks, physical contact and advances, a demand or request for sexual favors, showing pornography, any other unwelcome physical, verbal or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. All these will be considered as events of sexual harassment. ठीक है? It also seeks to form a internal complaints committee. Every establishment must have an internal complaints committee at all the offices and all the branches that have at least 10 members. ठीक है? And the internal complaints committee will take cases on the basis of written complaint filed by the women, and if the woman who is a victim is not being able to file a criminal complaint, a complaint to the internal complaints committee on the grounds that she is deceased or she has died or she is not mentally stable in that regard, that any other person can file a written complaint on behalf of that person. ठीक है? The complaint has to be filed within 3 months of the occurrence of the event. However, the internal complaints committee can relax the time duration. And after the complaint has been received, the internal complaints committee will make inquiry into the whole incidents. And if the inquiry, the nature of the conduct of the employee who has been alleged to have committed the act of sexual harassment of the women falls under certain kind of acts then that are prescribed under IPC 509, that is outraging the modesty of a woman, then IPC 509, then a police case will be filed against the person. Otherwise, sorry, ठीक है, otherwise what will happen? Otherwise a disciplinary action can be taken against the employee. ठीक है? And also the Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act 2013 also provides for a compensation to the victim, and that compensation needs to be deducted from the employee's salary. ठीक है? The employer can deduct salary from what? Salary from the employee as a compensation to the woman. Now, Vishakha guidelines already existed. In these guidelines were made in 1997. This also is a very interesting story. Interesting matlab a very sad story in the sense. Bhavri Devi case, please go and read it. Bhavri Devi case. Bhavri Devi. Bhavri Devi was a social activist, okay, who worked against the child marriages. She was gang raped in 1994-95, I guess, and then she could not establish it because of the inherent fallacies or fault lines in the police system. The police did not register a case in the beginning. Medical examination was conducted after 52 days, 5 days of the occurrence of the event, and all these things happened. And then some lawyers and sympathizers argued in the Delhi High Court and then Supreme Court as well. And then Supreme Court laid this Vishakha guidelines. Okay. The sexual harassment at workplace is violation of the Vishakha guidelines are guidelines. They are not legally binding. Okay. They are guidelines. Sexual harassment at workplace is violation of fundamental human rights under Article 14, 19 and 21. Right to equality, right to freedom of speech and expression, and of course, right to life with dignity. The court defined sexual harassment as any physical, of course, the 5 kind of sexual harassment that we saw in the previous slide, and a complaints committee. Prevention of Sexual Harassment Acts borrows heavily from this guideline. Okay. The complaints committee headed by women and half of the members should be women. Time-bound readdressal of the complaints. Disciplinary and criminal proceedings should be initiated against the perpetrators. So these are important Vishakha guidelines and Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act. I hope you understood it. Now the last topic at hand is Kala Namak rice. Kala Namak rice, it's a very important thing from biodiversity point of view. Environment wale point of view se bahut important hai Kala Namak rice. UP government has taken the decision to export the rice to Singapore. It is scented non-basmati rice. It is scented non-basmati rice. India has over 300 plus varieties of scented non-basmati rice. Basmati is a scented rice that has a long grain after cooking, okay, and can become substitute for basmati rice. तो काला नमक राइस क्या है हम देखेंगे, ठीक है. सबसे पहले तो देख लो कि आप काला नमक राइस ये होता है. इसकी हस्क ब्लैक कलर की होती है, और अदर राइस इज वाइट, ठीक है, बट इसकी हस्क ब्लैक कलर की होती है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड काला नमक राइस, ठीक है. एंड नमक क्यों कहते हैं, ये भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है कि इसको नमक क्यों कहते हैं. इसमें काला नमक इसलिए कहते हैं क्योंकि इट इज अ वेरी हाई टॉलरेंस फॉर सलाइन एंड अल्कलाइन सॉइल्स. ओके, मतलब ऊसर, you must be knowing ऊसर जमीन वो जमीन होती है जहां पे अल्कलिनिटी हाई होती है या सॉल्ट कंटेंट हाई होता है, ठीक है. Why news? Of course, to boost farm exports, UP government has taken this decision. Why important? With the scented rice market growing at the rate of 12% per annum, and India's basmati production has stagnated, ठीक है. Now India's basmati production has stagnated, and India's scented rice का जो export market है, that is heavily dominated by basmati, ठीक है. And moreover, अब basmati का production stagnate हो गया है 1.5 million tons a year. क्यों? क्योंकि basmati can be grown in a very specified tract of land in Punjab, Uttarakhand, Himachal and parts of Jammu, ठीक है. इन्हीं एरियाज में बासमती उगाया जा सकता है फॉर द स्पेसिफिक काइंड ऑफ स्मेल एंड अरोमा एंड द काइंड ऑफ राइस दैट इज ग्रोन ट्रेडिशनली, ठीक है. बट द प्रोडक्शन, क्योंकि अब एरिया ऑफ प्रोडक्शन बहुत लिमिटेड है, तो द प्रोडक्शन हैज स्टैग्नेटेड टू 1.5 मिलियन टन्स a year, ठीक है. द प्रोडक्शन हैज ऑल्दो स्टैग्नेटेड, बट द रेट ऑफ डिमांड फॉर स्टैग्नेंट फ्रैग्रेंट राइस है ना, या क्या कहते हैं, scented rice is growing in basically Europe and USA. As we have seen in one of our last lecture कि basmati, the demand of scented rice is growing so much that many countries are trying to produce some kind of basmati by copying the germ plasm of basmati and registering them as by different names, ठीक है, but Basmati is a GI registered product. Recently what happened was Pakistan has tried to register, actually it has registered Basmati as its own GI, ठीक है, लाहौर के एरिया में इसका प्रोडक्शन होता है sorry, but traditionally Basmati has been grown in India in itself, ठीक है. इवन टेक्सास में एक कंपनी है, उसने टेक्समती करके एक बासमती का ही वैरायटी प्रोड्यूस कर ली थी एंड सेड दैट इट इज जेनेरिक इन द सेंस कि वो यूएसए में ही ग्रो अप होता है. एंड देन इंडियन गवर्नमेंट फाइल्ड अ केस एंड इंडियन गवर्नमेंट वन द केस एंड देन टेक्समती वाज टेकन ऑफ द शेल्फ्स. तो यू कैन सी कि सेंटेड राइस का मार्केट कितना फास्टली ग्रो कर रहा है. बट अगर हमारा बासमती प्रोडक्शन स्टैग्नेट हो गया है तो वी नीड टू स्विच ओवर टू सम अदर काइंड ऑफ सब्स्टिट्यूट विच विल हेल्प अस, ठीक है. तो इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ नॉन बासमती सेंटेड राइस क्या है? नॉन बासमती सेंटेड राइस लाइक काला नमक राइस जो है उसका इंपॉर्टेंस, या ऐसे सेंटेड राइसेस का इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है? बासमती एक वैरायटी, 300 वैरायटीज अलग राइस की हैं जो कि सेंटेड है, जिनकी अरोमा है. वन इज लॉस ऑफ जर्म प्लाज्म. इंडिया हैज सीन अ लॉस ऑफ जर्म प्लाज्म. जर्म प्लाज्म का मतलब होता है सीड या हमारा जो जेनेटिक कंटेंट था, है ना. जर्म प्लाज्म का मतलब होता है वो चीज जिससे आप नई जनरेशन प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हो. तो 20 नॉन बासमती सेंटेड राइस की वैरायटीज का लॉस हो चुका है कंप्लीटली. दे हैव गॉन एक्सटिंक्ट. वी कैन नो मोर प्रोड्यूस देम. व्हाई? बिकॉज ऑफ ग्रीन रिवॉल्यूशन. ग्रीन रिवॉल्यूशन की वजह से पीपल स्विच्ड टू व्हाट, द मैन्योर बेस्ड प्रोडक्शन ऑफ हाई यील्डिंग वैरायटी ऑफ राइस, ड्यू टू व्हिच loss of germ plasm for the non-basmati scented rices has taken place. Basmati has overshadowed 300 non-basmati scented rice varieties in India. Basmati का overproduction, Basmati का बहुत ज़्यादा popularization, and it has become kind of a cultural thing now, है ना. तो to eat Basmati as a status symbol, ठीक है. Due to which प्रोडक्शन ऑफ बासमती डिमांड साइड की कंस्ट्रेंट की वजह से सप्लाई साइड भी कंस्ट्रेंट हो जाएगा, एंड ड्यू टू विच बासमती का प्रोडक्शन बहुत ज्यादा इंक्रीज हो गया है एंड द अदर 300 सेंटेड राइस वेराइटीज का प्रोडक्शन डिक्रीज हो गया है. ऑल्दो द कॉस्ट ऑफ बासमती प्रोडक्शन इज वेरी हाई एज कंपेयर टू दिस काला नमक. वी विल सी इन वन ऑफ आवर स्लाइड कि हाउ मच इज द डिफरेंस. अदर इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज अल्टरनेटिव टू बासमती, बिकॉज बासमती कैन ग्रो ओनली इन सर्टेन एरियाज, ठीक है, एंड इट्स प्रोडक्शन इज स्टैग्नेटेड. The cost of production is Kala Namak is very low as compared to the cost of production of Basmati, and it is also it also has a GI tag, ठीक है. Moreover, biodiversity के point of view से it's very important that we conserve our germ plasm. जो ट्रेडिशनल जर्म प्लाज्म उसको कंजर्व करना, उसको प्रमोट करना बहुत जरूरी है, नहीं तो मोनोकल्चर या लॉस ऑफ बायोडाइवर्सिटी हो सकता है, ठीक है. Now market for organic rice. Another important thing is Kala Namak rice takes a very less amount of fertilizer. Now it is being grown using fertilizer. Otherwise, it is not no kind of fertilizer is being used for the production of Kala Namak rice. ठीक है. तो it naturally becomes an organic rice. Okay. So the market for organic rice is growing at the rate of 30% compounded annually. सोचो, तो राइस जो सेंटेड राइस का मार्केट है वो 12% पे ग्रो कर रहा है और ऑर्गेनिक राइस का मार्केट 30% पे ग्रो कर रहा है. और काला नमक राइस इज वन ऑफ दैट राइस which naturally grows organically. It does not need any kind of manure or fertilizer or pesticide because it is highly resistant to pesticides. ठीक है, highly resistant to disease, तो pesticide की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी. सेकेंड वन क्या है कि कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन बहुत कम है. थर्ड वन क्या है कि जो ऑर्गेनिकली प्रोड्यूस्ड होने की वजह से इट कैन लाइक कैप्चर द होल organically produced rice market, and it can be a great step forward towards what, doubling the farmers income. Lesser water requirement grown in rain fed areas and doesn't need standing water during transplantation. Conventional rice या बासमती राइस की में जहाँ पे हमें ट्रांसप्लांटेशन के लिए प्रॉपरली फ्लडेड एरिया चाहिए होता है, इसमें नहीं चाहिए होता है. And it has high tolerance to alkaline ऊसर soils and high salt tolerance. सॉल्ट टॉलरेंस, सॉल्ट कब इंक्रीज हो जाता है, सॉइल में सॉल्ट का कंसंट्रेशन इंक्रीज कब होता है, जब सॉइल में वाटर का रिटेंशन बहुत ज़्यादा, अगर बहुत ज़्यादा वाटर सॉइल रिटेन कर रही है तो उसकी वजह से मिनरल्स जो होते हैं, सॉल्ट्स ऊपर आ जाते हैं उसकी वजह से, ठीक। या अगर इवेपोरेशन का रेट बहुत हाई है तो वाटर इवेपोरेट्स एंड द मिनरल्स आर लेफ्ट ऑन द सॉइल, जिसकी वजह से ऊसर क्रिएट हो जाती है या सॉल्ट कंटेंट ऑफ द सॉइल गेट्स इंक्रीज्ड। नाउ कंपैरिजन बिटवीन बासमती एंड काला नमक, टोटल कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन per ton is 16 per 100 kgs is 16,836 rupees, ठीक है। whereas for काला नमक it is 7,500, लगभग 10,000 रुपए कम पर 100 kgs। yield per क्विंटल पर हेक्टेयर, एक हेक्टेयर में 30 क्विंटल्स yield होगा काला नमक का, whereas 21 क्विंटल yield होगा बासमती का। gross return is 30,000 rupees and gross return of basmati 29,400. gross return is not the right thing, we need to calculate net returns, ठीक है। net return is 22,000 whereas for basmati is 12,000 because the input cost and production costs are very high for basmati, and benefit to cost ratio is very high for काला नमक। यानी अगर आप 1 रुपए लगाते हैं, 1 रुपए का कॉस्ट अगर आपका है प्रोडक्शन का, तो बेनिफिट आपको 3.98 अराउंड 4 रुपीज का होगा काला नमक में, और वहीं पे अगर आप 1 रुपए लगाते हैं तो 1.75 रुपीज का बेनिफिट होगा आपको बासमती राइस में। तो इट प्रेजेंट्स अ वेरी गुड ऑल्टरनेटिव टू व्हाट, टू बासमती, एंड दैट इज व्हाई द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ द ट्रेडिशनली grown rice and other varieties of the preservation of other varieties of rice and other food crops as well is very important, because जो ट्रेडिशनल वेराइटीज ऑफ ग्रोइंग फूड है, दैट इज द बैकबोन ऑफ द डाइवर्सिटी इन आवर फूड दैट वी हैव, ठीक है। क्योंकि हाई यील्डिंग वेराइटीज ऑफ जो फूड है, इट इज गुड दैट इट इज एबल टू फुलफिल आवर फूड डिमांड, बट इन द कमिंग ईयर्स वी विल बी नीडिंग ऑल दीज बिकॉज they naturally have many beneficial properties that we don't have in high yielding varieties, ठीक है। for example high yielding varieties जो है वो although their yield is high but they also take high input cost and they also take a lot of manure pesticide due to which the soil content is, so the quality of soil is degraded, ठीक है। and biodiversity के aspect से भी हमारा बहुत important concern होना चाहिए the conservation of germplasm of traditional varieties of food that we have been growing, ठीक है। So that is all for the day. I hope you enjoyed the lecture.